The howling wind cuts across the frozen tundra like a knife, carrying snow crystals that sting exposed skin at -78 degrees Fahrenheit. In the dim Arctic twilight, an Inuit hunter moves carefully across the ice field, scanning for the telltale signs of polar bear activity. 3 attacks have already occurred this month in nearby communities, and tension hangs heavy in the frigid air. Without guns to defend themselves, these hunters rely on ancient knowledge passed down through countless generations, methods developed when their ancestors had nothing but bone tools and wisdom to face the Arctic's apex predator. Before we continue, if you enjoy powerful stories of survival, tradition, and raw nature, make sure to click that subscribe button. It's the best way to support our work. Thank you, and let's continue. The hunter stops, raising a hand to shield his eyes against the biting wind. 20 yards ahead, fresh tracks mark the snow, massive paw prints nearly a foot across, the distinctive drag marks between them showing where the bear's belly scraped the ground. He kneels, examining the impression carefully. The edges are still sharp, untouched by wind erosion. This bear passed within the hour. In the traditional Inuit way, preparation for polar bear season begins long before the bears arrive. The community gathers to reinforce ancient defense strategies that have kept their people alive for millennia. No guns are permitted during this traditional hunt, a choice that honors ancestral methods and tests the true skill of those who dare face these massive predators. The hunter pulls out a small pouch made from caribou hide. Inside are bone fragments and dried herbs, part of a spiritual preparation that connects him to the land and its spirits. He whispers prayers in Inuktitut, acknowledging the bear's spirit and asking for protection. This isn't mere superstition. It's a psychological anchor that steadies the mind for what may come. Around his neck hangs a carved bone amulet, etched with symbols that tell stories of successful hunts from generations past. His grandmother made it, just as her grandmother made one for her father. Each generation adds their own marks, creating a living history of survival against the Arctic's most formidable hunter. The temperature plummets further as the wind picks up. At -78 degrees Fahrenheit, exposed flesh freezes in minutes. The hunter's sealskin parka, lined with caribou fur and sealed with sinew stitching, creates a microclimate that keeps his core temperature stable. Every piece of traditional clothing serves multiple purposes: gants, camouflage, and protection against both elements and predators. He moves to check his emergency shelter, a small snow house built 3 weeks ago when the first signs of polar bear activity appeared. Inside, emergency supplies wait: dried meat, seal oil for heat and light, and most importantly, the traditional weapons that will be his only defense: harpoons with bone tips, strengthened by careful crafting and spiritual preparation. The community operates on a strict warning system during polar bear season. Young hunters stationed at observation points use mirrors to flash coded signals across the ice. 3 flashes mean a bear has been spotted. 5 flashes indicate immediate danger. The system works remarkably well, allowing warnings to travel miles across the tundra faster than any bear can move. At the village edge, elders prepare the traditional defenses. Large drums made from stretched walrus hide stand ready. When struck, they produce deep, resonating sounds that can deter approaching bears. The vibrations travel through the ice, creating a barrier of sound that most bears prefer to avoid. It's a technique perfected over thousands of years, understanding that polar bears, despite their size, are cautious creatures that avoid unfamiliar disturbances. The hunter checks his snow goggles, carved from driftwood with narrow slits that prevent snow blindness. In this extreme cold, metal frames would freeze to the skin instantly. Every tool, every piece of equipment represents generations of adaptation to an environment where a single mistake means death. As darkness falls, a darkness that will last for months, the community gathers in the central igloo. The elders share stories of past encounters, each tale containing vital survival information wrapped in narrative form. They speak of the great white bear who stalked their village for 3 winters, teaching the young ones how to read wind patterns that carry a bear's scent, how to identify the subtle differences between curiosity and hunting behavior in the animal's movements. One elder demonstrates the traditional bear deterrent dance, a series of movements designed to make humans appear larger and more threatening. Arms raised high, bodies swaying in unison. The dancers create an optical illusion that has saved countless lives. The movements mimic those of a wounded walrus. An animal even polar bears approach with caution. Outside, the temperature drops further. The hunter returns to his watch post, equipped with nothing but traditional tools and ancient knowledge. He carries a long pole with a sharpened bone tip, designed not to kill but to deter. The strategy isn't to fight the bear directly. That would be suicide without firearms, but to make approaching the village more trouble than it's worth. The first test comes at midnight. A massive male polar bear, nearly 10 feet tall when standing, appears at the edge of the village. The hunter spots it first, its yellowish fur almost glowing against the blue-black snow. He signals the others using the traditional whistle made from hollowed bird bone. 3 short bursts that carry clearly through the Arctic air. The community responds instantly. Drums begin their deep, rhythmic pounding. Elders emerge carrying torches made from seal blubber, the flames creating a wall of light and heat that makes the bear pause. The hunter advances slowly, pole extended, maintaining eye contact as tradition demands. Never run from a polar bear, it triggers their chase instinct. The bear tests their defenses, circling the village perimeter. Each time it approaches, the drums intensify, the torches wave higher, and the hunter adjusts his position to remain between the bear and the vulnerable. This deadly dance continues for hours, a test of endurance in conditions that would kill most humans within minutes. By dawn, the bear retreats, discouraged by the unified defense. But the season has just begun. For the next 4 months, this routine will repeat nightly. The physical toll is enormous. Frostbite claims fingers and toes. Exhaustion becomes a constant companion, and the psychological strain of constant vigilance wears on even the strongest minds. The hunter returns to his family igloo for a brief rest. His wife tends to his frost-nipped fingers with a salve made from seal fat and Arctic herbs. His children listen wide-eyed as he recounts the night's encounter, absorbing lessons they'll need when their turn comes to stand watch. In the harsh light of the Arctic day, a day that lasts only a few hours, the community inspects their defenses. Snow walls are reinforced, emergency caches checked, and spiritual protections renewed. The shaman performs ceremonies that bind the community together, creating a psychological shield as important as any physical barrier. The second attack comes 3 nights later. This time, a mother bear with 2 cubs approaches from the sea ice. Female bears with cubs are the most dangerous. Desperate to feed their young, they're more likely to risk confrontation. The hunter recognizes the heightened threat immediately. The defense strategy changes. Protecting cubs makes the mother unpredictable, more willing to charge through deterrence that would stop a solitary bear. The community forms a tighter formation. Children and elders moved to the center igloos. The hunter and other defenders create a human barrier, understanding that they may need to sacrifice themselves to protect the vulnerable. The mother bear charges twice, testing their resolve. Each time, the defenders hold their ground, poles extended, voices raised in the traditional warning chants. The psychological warfare is intense. Showing fear invites attack, but overconfidence can provoke one. The balance must be perfect. On the third charge, disaster nearly strikes. The bear breaks through the outer defense line, scattering hunters. For a terrifying moment, she's within the village proper. But the emergency protocols activate flawlessly. Secondary defenders emerge from hidden positions. Drums thunder from multiple directions, and the disorienting effect drives the bear back. The cubs, frightened by the noise and confusion, call to their mother. Maternal instinct wins over hunger, and she retreats to comfort them. The village has survived another night, but at a cost. 2 hunters suffer severe lacerations from close encounters, treated with traditional medicines and prayers. As the season progresses, the challenges multiply. Food becomes scarce for both humans and bears, increasing the likelihood of desperate attacks. The constant cold saps strength and clouds judgment. Yet the Inuit endure, their traditional methods proving remarkably effective against one of nature's most fearsome predators. The hunter's role evolves as younger community members join the defense rotation. He becomes a teacher, passing on subtle skills that can't be learned from books. How to read a bear's body language, how to position yourself so the wind carries your scent away from approaching predators, how to use the landscape itself as a defensive tool. One particularly brutal night, with temperatures dropping to -85 degrees Fahrenheit. 3 bears approach simultaneously from different directions. It's a scenario the elders have warned about but few have experienced. The community's response demonstrates the true genius of their traditional system. Flexibility within structure. The defenders split into 3 groups, each led by an experienced hunter. They coordinate using bird-bone whistles, creating a complex pattern of sounds that confuses the bears while keeping the human defenders oriented. The drummers adjust their rhythms, creating acoustic interference that makes it difficult for the bears to locate prey by sound. The youngest hunter, barely 16, faces his first real test. A massive male bear focuses on his section of the defense line. The boy's hands shake, not from cold but from fear. Yet he holds his ground, remembering the stories, the training, the generations of ancestors who faced this same challenge. When the bear charges, he executes the deterrent moves perfectly, and the predator veers away at the last moment. Morning reveals the effectiveness of their defense. Tracks show where all 3 bears circled the village multiple times before retreating. No lives lost, no serious injuries. The traditional methods have triumphed again. As the season wears on, patterns emerge. The bears learn to recognize the village's defenses, some avoiding the area entirely, while others test the boundaries repeatedly. The hunters adapt their strategies accordingly, never becoming complacent, always respecting the intelligence of their adversaries. The spiritual aspects of the defense become increasingly important as exhaustion sets in. Ceremonies that seemed purely symbolic at the season's start now provide crucial psychological support. The shaman's blessings offer comfort and courage, while communal rituals reinforce the bonds that make their defense possible. Near the season's end, the ultimate test arrives. A massive male bear, scarred from numerous battles, approaches with unusual determination. The hunters recognize him from previous years, a persistent predator who has learned to partially overcome their deterrence. This bear doesn't circle or test. He charges directly, ignoring the drums, barely flinching at the torches. The hunter realizes this confrontation will require everything they've learned. He signals for the ultimate defense formation, a technique used only in the direst circumstances. The community forms concentric circles, with the strongest defenders in the outer ring. As the bear breaches each line, defenders fall back to the next, creating a collapsing defense that concentrates their power while protecting the vulnerable. It's a strategy that mimics the way musk oxen defend against wolves, adapted for human use. The battle lasts hours. The bear's determination is matched only by the community's resolve. Finally, as dawn approaches, the combination of exhaustion, confusion from the coordinated defense, and the approaching daylight drives the bear away. He'll return to the sea ice, seeking easier prey. As the polar bear season draws to a close, the hunter reflects on the ancient wisdom that has kept his people alive. Without guns, without modern technology, they faced one of Earth's most dangerous predators and survived through knowledge, courage, and community. The traditional methods aren't just about survival. They're about maintaining a relationship with the natural world that modern weapons would destroy. Each confrontation is a negotiation, not a battle. The goal isn't to dominate nature, but to find one's place within it. The hunter passes his bone amulet to his eldest son, adding new marks that tell this season's stories. The cycle continues, as it has for thousands of years. In a world of rapid change, where traditional knowledge often gives way to modern convenience, the Inuit polar bear defense remains a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. As the Arctic sun finally returns, bringing months of daylight, the community celebrates their survival. They've lost no one to the bears this season, a testament to their preparedness and skill. The drums that once warned of danger now beat in celebration, their rhythm echoing across the tundra. The hunter knows that next season will bring new challenges. Climate change alters migration patterns, bringing more desperate bears closer to human settlements. Yet he remains confident in the old ways, understanding that adaptation has always been the Inuits' greatest strength. In the end, The story of Inuit polar bear defense isn't just about surviving in impossible conditions. It's about maintaining harmony with a harsh environment, respecting the power of nature while asserting humanity's right to exist within it. As long as polar bears roam the Arctic and Inuit communities stand strong, this ancient dance of survival will continue, a testament to the enduring power of traditional wisdom in our modern world. The final lesson the hunter imparts to the young ones is simple yet profound. Respect the bear, but never fear it. Fear clouds judgment and invites attack. Respect keeps you alert, careful, and alive. In the Arctic at -78 degrees Fahrenheit, facing Earth's largest land predator without guns, these aren't just words. They're the difference between life and death, passed down through generations who've proven their worth against the ultimate test of survival.